Have you ever pushed so hard to appear fine that you could not remember the last time you actually rested? And when someone doubts what they cannot see, do you eventually start doubting it too? I remember leaving an appointment with my shoulders locked, my thoughts moving slowly, and enough energy left for one decision: drive home or answer the messages waiting on my phone. Someone had just told me, "You look fine." I nodded. I answered the questions. I made myself sound organized. Then I sat in the car and realized I had spent the whole appointment proving that I was functioning, instead of explaining why I was struggling.
Welcome to Plugged Into Your Day, Stories from Dr. Disruptor. I'm Dr. Eric S. Fishin, Dr. Disruptor. This show is for anyone who has ever felt unseen or misunderstood, especially people living with invisible disabilities, chronic fatigue, brain fog, mental health challenges, or the quiet weight of caregiving. We share real stories and practical tools to help you feel seen, manage stress, set boundaries, and question a harmful idea that you have to hide what you are going through. Your struggle is real. Your story matters. You do not have to carry it alone. Different is beautiful. Together, we are unstoppable. Let's plug in and begin today's episode. Today, I want to talk about what can happen after someone says, "But you don't look sick." Maybe they mean it as a compliment. Maybe they are confused. Maybe they are impatient. Whatever they intended, you can end up carrying the sentence long after the conversation ends. You start wondering, am I overreacting? Is this really as difficult as it feels? Should I be able to do more? That is the quiet turn. Another person's assumption becomes your internal question. The 5 minutes they saw begins to outweigh the hours they did not see. They saw you attend the meeting, finish the assignment, answer the phone, or smile at the gathering. They did not see what happened before you arrived, or what happened when you finally got home. You may have needed twice as long to get ready. You may have used your best concentration just to follow the conversation. You may have held your body together until the door closed behind you. Then the fatigue arrives. Your thoughts slow down. Sound feels sharper. A simple decision becomes too much. None of that is erased because someone happened to see you during your most organized 10 minutes. So here is the idea I want to offer you. You do not have to build a courtroom inside your own mind. You do not have to cross-examine every symptom, collect perfect evidence, or persuade every person before you are allowed to respond to your own needs. What if you became a trustworthy witness to your own life? I call that the inner witness. It is not a voice that automatically agrees with every fear. It is not permission to dismiss helpful feedback, avoid qualified care, or decide that nobody else has anything useful to say. It is a way of paying attention. You notice what happened. You notice what it cost. Then you choose support based on reality, not shame. Self-trust does not mean shutting everyone else out. In fact, it can help you recognize which outside voices are respectful and informed, and which voices are simply asking you to become smaller so they do not have to adjust. You can honor your own experience and still seek medical, therapeutic, educational, or workplace support. Those things belong together. Begin with what happened. After a difficult class, workday, appointment, family conversation, or gathering, write down a few observable facts. What did you do? How long did it last? What did you notice in your body? What changed while you were there? You do not need a perfect journal, and you do not need medical language.
Instead of writing, "I was useless today," try something more specific. I attended a 2-hour meeting. I took notes for about 40 minutes. Then I reread the same paragraph several times. My shoulders tightened. I became sensitive to sound. When I got home, I needed a quiet room and could not prepare dinner. That is not exaggeration. It is information. Notice the difference. "I was useless" is a verdict about your character. The rest is an account of an experience. You can include emotions too. Maybe you felt embarrassed, anxious, frustrated, or relieved that you made it through. The goal is not to remove emotion. The goal is to separate the event from the judgment you placed on yourself.
Then ask what it cost. Not only what did I manage to do, ask what did I have to spend to do it. Maybe the fatigue arrived later. Maybe your thinking became slower. Maybe you lost patience, missed messages, skipped food, canceled another commitment, or needed the next day to recover. Maybe you completed the assignment, but there was no capacity left for conversation that evening.
This is where many of us get stuck. We say, "I did it, so I must be fine." But sometimes you did it by borrowing energy from tomorrow. You used the reserve meant for sleep, nourishment, connection, or basic care. The result looked successful from the outside, while your life became less steady underneath. Being able to do something once does not prove that it is sustainable. I was able to do this, and it still had a cost. I enjoyed the gathering, and I needed 2 days to recover. I completed the project, and my brain fog became worse afterward. I attended the appointment, and I could not make another decision that day. Both parts can be true. Naming the cost is not ingratitude. It is a fuller account of what happened.
Now, a reasonable concern might come up. Could tracking every symptom make someone more anxious? It could if the record becomes another demand to perform. I would not recommend documenting everything. You do not need to monitor yourself all day or turn your life into a spreadsheet. Record what helps you make a safer decision, communicate with respectful support, or notice a pattern you want to discuss with a qualified professional. Then stop.
The purpose is not to create a perfect file proving that you deserve care. The purpose is to stop abandoning yourself when someone else doubts you. That may mean writing 3 sentences in your phone. It may mean telling a trusted person, "I participated, but I am at my limit now." It may mean asking for written instructions, a quieter setting, a flexible deadline, transportation, or help with a task people usually do not notice. Choose one support, not 10. If the meeting cost you the evening, your next support might be declining the optional call, asking for notes, or telling someone at home that dinner needs to be simple. If the appointment left you depleted, you might avoid scheduling another demanding task immediately afterward. If a class used all your concentration, you might plan a quiet transition instead of judging yourself for needing one. If someone says, "But you look fine," you do not have to give a speech. You might say, "My appearance does not show the full cost of this," or "I am glad I was able to participate, and I still need recovery," or simply, "I am not asking you to diagnose me. I am asking you to respect the support I am requesting." And if speaking up does not feel safe, private notes still count.
The inner witness has 3 movements. Record what happened without exaggerating or attacking yourself. Count the cost, including the delayed effects and the capacity you lost afterward. Then choose one support that makes the next step safer. Facts, cost, support. You can use those 3 words after a workday, an appointment, a difficult conversation, or any moment when you realize you were performing okay while feeling anything but okay.
Before we close, complete this sentence for yourself. I trust my experience more when... Maybe your answer is when I write things down. Maybe it is when I stop comparing my hardest day to someone else's easiest day. Maybe it is when one person listens without making me prove my pain.
Let the answer be simple. It can become a small handrail for the next difficult moment. If this episode resonated with you, share that sentence on social media. Tag the show if you can, and use the episode title so other listeners can find the conversation. You can also visit drdisruptors.com to stay connected and find resources related to unseen disabilities, stress, advocacy, and disruption. Follow the podcast, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who has been told they look fine while quietly struggling.
Thank you for spending part of your day with me on Plugged Into Your Day, Stories from Dr. Disruptor. If you saw a bit of your own story in what we discussed, remember this. You are not alone. You are not imagining it, and you are not too much. Your experiences, your limits, your strengths, and your scars are part of a story that deserves to be heard and honored.
My hope is that something you heard today gives you permission to breathe a little deeper, be a little kinder to yourself, and take one small disrupted step. Ask for help. Set a boundary. Tell your story. Rest without guilt. You never have to apologize for needing the space and support to be fully yourself. Until next time, remember, your voice matters, your story has power, and your needs do not have to be visible to be real. Different is beautiful. Together, we are unstoppable. I'm Dr. Disruptor, and this has been Plugged Into Your Day.